Okay, pre-calculus exam review, the next batch of problems. These two are dealing with polar coordinates, so we might want to look at that. The last three are all similar. They're talking about trig functions, and in particular, I might want to look at this one first, right? So this one is asking, you have an angle, the tangent is positive, the secant is negative, which of the following must be true? Where is the angle? Which quadrant is it in? So you might recall we did that all students take calculus idea. These are the quadrants where all the trig functions are positive. Only the sine and its reciprocal, the cosecant, would be positive in this quadrant. The tangent and its reciprocal, the cotangent, would be positive down here. And the cosine and its reciprocal, the secant, would be positive in quadrant 4. So that helps us here. We know the tangent is positive, so we could be here or here, right? That's where the tangents are positive. And the secant is negative. Let's see, over here, the cosine is positive. Over here, the cosine is positive. So we have to be in quadrant 3. So we're looking like that. Now, again, follow the directions, please. It just, it's a thing with mathematics. We like to follow the directions and be precise. So if you look at the directions, it says just circle the letter of the correct choice. That's what we're supposed to do. So we're not writing the letter next to the problem. We're not circling the problem. We're just circling the letter of the correct choice. So down here, if I did it this way, you're not following the directions. I don't know that it would be marked wrong, but to be safe, just follow the directions, circle the letter of the correct choice. Okay, so that takes care of that. Let's look at the two above that. These are intriguing. It says you don't have a calculator, and yet you have these unusual angles and certainly decimal problems. It looks like a calculator problem. It says without a calculator, you're able to determine one of the following statements must be false. Which one is it? And it says think of the graphs. The graphs, see the graphs of the sine wave goes like this, right? And the cosine wave looks like this. So here's sort of the graphs of the problems, or the graphs of the trig functions anyway. You could, that would come down here, go like that. Okay, so waves. Or the sines of the trig functions. Okay, we did the sines on this part down here, so we can think sines of the trig functions as well. All students take calculus. And hopefully that will give us a clue as to what's going on. Okay, so let's see, the sine of 23 degrees. I'm just going to run a quick circle here. 23 degrees is in the first quadrant. The sine is positive. That looks okay. I don't see anything that's obviously wrong with that. We don't know whether it's 0.391, but it says must be false. That seems okay. 154 degrees, let's see, there's 180. 154 is somewhere over here. Cosine is negative. That looks okay. The tangent of 321 degrees. She swears 321. So there's 90, 180, 270, that's 360. 321 is going to be over here somewhere. And it says the tangent is positive. Wait a minute, the tangent can't be positive. This one is the one that must be false. Okay, so the tangent cannot be positive in quadrant 4. We know that in quadrant 4, right, only the cosine and the secant are positive. The tangent has to be negative over there. So that one is done. You could check the other ones as well. 98 degrees, you're up here. The tangent is going to be negative there, right? The tangent is positive in quadrants 3 and 1, negative. So that one looks okay. And 32 degrees is over here. Again, positive, no problem there. Bigger than 1 because the cosine is trapped between +1 and -1, and the secant being the reciprocal. So the reciprocal of a number less than 1 is going to be bigger than 1. So that makes sense. So the answer is C. That's the one that has to be false. Okay, 21, very similar idea. Without using a calculator, which one of the following must be false? So we can sort of go through the same idea, just sort of sketch some pictures and see what's going on. Let's see, it's 36 degrees. Okay, that seems okay. 94 degrees, you're over here. We know the cosine is negative. The secant's got to be negative. It is larger, or in absolute value, larger than 1 because the cosine is a very small number, so the reciprocal of the very small number would be a very large number. That looks okay. 92 degrees, again, we're up here somewhere. That seems okay. The tangent of 281, wow, okay, so 90 degrees, 180 degrees, 270 degrees, 281 is somewhere down here, and it says the tangent is negative, that seems okay. So we're down to 309, and the sine is negative 1.7. 309 degrees, there's 90, 180, 270, 309 is down here somewhere, and the cosine is negative, that's correct, except the cosine is always stuck between +1 and -1. It will never get lower than -1, right? So if you're at the bottom of the circle, the sine of 270 degrees is -1. If you're over here, it's got to be, higher than -1. It can't be down here. There is no sine, there is no angle where the sine is less than -1. Look at the picture. All the trig functions, sines and cosines, are trapped between +1 and -1. So that statement has to be false. Okay? So this is the one that's false. We circle that. Good.